But let me ask you this once again. How many gun deaths were there in Britain last year?
I don't know off the top of my head for last year.
But you're the world, you're the world expert on this, you told me.
The point is, it was lower before you had different types of gun control regulations.
No, that's completely and utterly untrue. Let me answer the question that you can. Let me answer the question for you.
If you look across the
John
world,
Locke, please be quiet. Let me answer the question for you because you are incapable.
Your way you interview is always to ask and answer your own questions.
Let me answer it for you. There are, on average, in the last 5-6 years in Britain, 32 people a year killed by guns. In America, it is 85 a day. And you have the gall, in the light of another mass shooting, to come on this program and try and pretend that Europe has a bigger gun problem than America. Do me a favor.
Now, Piers, there's lots of things that differ between England and the United States. You had very low gun crime before you had any type of gun control laws, whether it be 1920, 1956, 1997. You see increases in gun crime after those laws have been put in place. The United States has a bad problem.
Do you accept that in the last 2 years, the firearm death rate in America has risen?
Yeah, under the last 2 years of the Obama administration, it went up.
Okay, it's risen.
It's about 5 per 100,000.
It's risen. And do you accept that in that period there have been no changes to U.S. gun laws?
I accept, yeah. Well, no, there have been some increases. You've had California and New York have passed new restrictions.
Right. But
you've
just
had
to clarify,
a couple other states that have passed more restrictions.
Just to clarify, there has been a significant uptick in the number of gun deaths in America in the past 2 years. Further to that,
it's because of policing.
3 of the 5 worst mass shootings in American history have happened in the last 16 months, right? So do you accept, John Locke, that you don't just have a problem in America, you now have an epidemic of increasingly grotesque and gigantic mass shootings which have rendered the threat from homegrown American people being far more dangerous to American lives than terrorists, and yet all the attention from your president and from the NRA and others is on the terrible threat from terrorists, not from these people killing everyone in churches, killing everyone in concerts, killing everyone that they can find with their AR-15s.
Look, there have been horrible incidences, and you've had them all across the world. The United States doesn't have any monopoly on this by any extent. You know, you have 130 people killed in Paris during the concert shooting that occurred there.
There were more
You've
people.
Had bombings that have occurred around the world.
Just to pick you up again.
These are all terrorists.
Just
whether
to pick
they're
you up again.
homegrown or not.
There were more people
and the
shot
question
dead.
Is,
there were more people shot.
How do you stop these things? And
I'm going to finish.
Can I speak for a minute? Piers,
no, you
you've spoken most of the time.
I'm going to address
Piers,
the point
if you have a
just
guest
made.
on, let them speak, please.
Well, no, it's actually our show, not yours. And when you make a false statement, I'm going to correct it.
I understand that, but
I'm going to correct the false impression you just gave.
Police are extreme. Well,
let me correct the false impression you just gave, John Locke.
Police are extremely important in stopping mass public shootings.
Yeah.
There
were more
crime.
shootings
But the thing is,
in
they have an
America.
almost impossible job when it comes to stopping mass public shootings.
Right, there were more shootings.
Somebody in uniform
there were more shootings.
is like having somebody with a neon sign above them saying, "Shoot me first."
Can you stop talking?
And so the question is, how do you try to stop these things?
Right. And let me
Mental
tell you,
health
how do I
isn't
stop
going
you
to
talking?
stop
Never mind
you
how we
in
stop
this
gun
case.
crime. A silence.
Look.
Silence.
I disagree
for a
with
moment.
the president on
Shut
this.
up. All right? Here's the truth. I
disagree with the president on mental health.
There were more people shot dead. There were more people shot dead in America in that week of the Paris shooting.
You're repeating the same points over and over again.
Since the Second
World
War. You are talking complete nonsense. When are you people in America going to stop talking nonsense about guns and stop your young people being annihilated in the way that we are seeing?
The word nonsense isn't advancing anything on this.
Explain to me this. I can't buy this. This is 6 packets of Sudafed. They're one of the many companies that make this particular ingredient, which you can't buy legally in America. There we are, 6 packets. That is illegal for me to buy in that quantity in Walmart, say. But I can buy an AR-15 military-style assault rifle. I can then, as we saw with Holmes, the shooter in Aurora, go and get 6,000 rounds of ammunition from the internet, and I can go and blow up a movie theatre. Do you think that's right?
Well, we can talk drug laws another time, but
No,
I think that the question is...
Does that make sense to you?
No,
You're allowed to protest, but what you should do is surely get a sense of proportion about the scale of protests that we plan for various world leaders. I do not understand why, when we've just had President Erdogan of Turkey, who many people think is one of the most dangerous dictators in the world right now, and we've had the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, who is committing many people think war crimes in Yemen.
No protests against
Why are we
President
getting... Let me ask you this, Ash. Why are we having much bigger protests against Donald Trump, leader of the United States of America, our ally, than were ever planned for Erdogan or for the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia?
So lots of the organisers for Stop Trump coalition have been heavily involved in protests against the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia.
But where were those protests?
And
hardly
Erdogan.
anybody turned up.
I think the reason why the protests against Trump are so much bigger is precisely because America is supposed to be our greatest ally.
Do you think he's worse than Erdogan and the Crown Prince of Saudi in terms of human rights abuses, in terms of the way he treats his people, for example?
What I'm saying is that the purpose of this protest the purpose of this protest isn't just about his own domestic policy platform, which I think is terrible.
Right.
I think just because that there are more egregious abuses of human rights elsewhere does not
But why is your focus of your effort to stop Trump and not worse people?
Oh, this is what I was explaining, right? Is that when someone is supposed to be our greatest ally, it does mean that we should hold them to greater standards of accountability, because it's not just about...
I don't buy that argument.
But
hang on. But what are we stopping? What are we stopping?
Hold everybody to the same standard of accountability.
What are we stopping Trump doing? Trump is here to effectively beg us for a free trade deal post-Brexit that is going to benefit the United Kingdom and benefit the United States of America. You don't want him here. That means presumably you don't want to push forward that economic regeneration that Britain will need. And that makes it absolutely mad. You are cutting off your nose to spite your face.
He has not been a reliable ally in trade.
Oh, he's totally reliable on this. He's been to Europe to tell them that they are taking the mick by not paying their fair share in terms of the NATO spending.
Which is not what it means.
He's not been critical of the United Kingdom.
Which is not what it means to be a reliable ally. When you're
do you know something?
Andre, sorry to interrupt. You just asked Ash a question and haven't allowed her to answer.
I'm happy for her to do it.
OK, so he's not actually been a reliable ally when it comes to trade. When you look at Bombardier, it was his reckless policy of trade tariffs which put British jobs in danger. Furthermore, when it comes to his criticisms of NATO, that is a real risk to that particular defence strategy.
He will not open.
What I'm saying is that he has not been a consistent or a reliable friend to the UK. And most of the British people, 67%, in fact, think he's doing a terrible job as president.
Ash, do you know how many illegal immigrants Barack Obama deported in 8 years?
And lots of people I know, both in the States and
do you know the number?
Protested. It was a huge amount of number.
Do you know how many?
Would you like to tell me, Piers?
No, I'm asking you.
It was...
You know every stat about Trump, but do you know actually how many illegal immigrants Barack Obama deported in his 8 years as president?
There was a huge expansion of immigration, detention and removal under Obama.
Have a guess.
I don't know the number, Piers. Would you like to tell me?
Give me a number.
I don't know it.
Any number.
Piers, I don't know it.
1? 10? Give me a number.
I told you it was probably in its thousands. It was a huge expansion.
How many thousands do you think? I'm serious. It's a serious question.
I know, but she's already said she's asked you to tell you the answer.
Have a guess.
Why? What's the value of making stuff up on air? I know that you're comfortable with
you go on and on about Trump, but here's my point to you.
Relationship to the truth.
You are running a Stop Trump campaign, but you have absolutely no idea how many illegal immigrants, which is a very sensitive area with Trump as well, how many illegal immigrants Obama deported in 8 years.
Because what we do know is that
Give me any number.
I'm not here as a defender of Obama or Clinton or any Democrat.
There's a reason
I'm here as a critic of Trump.
There's a reason I get it.
What we do know
is that less than half to be fair about Trump. Can you give me any number for the number of illegal immigrants that Obama deported? Do you have any idea at all?
What we do know is that less than half of the under 5s who've been separated from their families at the border, which Obama did not do, will be reunited with their families.
Do you think it's 10,000, 20,000? What do you think?
Listen, I told you I don't know. What more do you want from me?
Do you think it's thousands? What do you think?
Piers, why don't you just say how many? I know how many.
Because I'm really curious why somebody so politically activated...
But this isn't a test of Obama.
Well, actually, you know what? It is, and I'll come to why it's a test in a moment. Do you know?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
She said no, she doesn't know.
The answer... Do you think it's thousands? Ash?
Piers, this is about President Trump.
I'm just asking a question.
No, but she's already said she doesn't know.
I'm really fascinated that nobody either knows or cares that Barack Obama smashed all records for
I
deporting...
told you it was a huge expansion.
how many
I
it
admitted
is,
that
though?
already, and I said I'm not an Obama supporter.
But you have no idea how many it is, do you? It's a publicly stated figure. It's over 3 million illegal immigrants. Do you know how many bombs Obama dropped in his last year?
It was a huge expansion of the drone program,
How many
and
bombs?
that's why so many people,
Ash, do you
as
know
part
how many
of
bombs?
Trump
Do
coalition,
you know how many
have
bombs?
been critical
Ash,
of Obama's foreign
Ash,
policy.
simply,
but we're here to
I'm
talk
asking
about
you
Trump.
Hey, but you're here to talk about stop Trump.
It's interesting that you're giving
and
me
I'm
a harder
asking you,
time than you ever
I'm
gave
asking
Trump
you
when you
why
were
you weren't
interviewing
trying
him,
to
isn't
stop
it?
Obama deporting 3 million people.
How do you know Ash might
But
not have opposed
well, you don't have the
Obama's
numbers.
policy?
You've no idea what was going
because
on.
he's no longer in office, so now this is about
And that's
President
precisely
Trump.
right, isn't it? Look, Barack Obama...
My point is
came
there
over-
were no protests for Barack Obama, yet he broke all the records for deporting illegal immigrants, splitting up loads of families. He smashed all records for the most bombs dropped in one year.
I'm really glad that you're a friend
Guantanamo
of the
Bay open
anti-war
for 8
movement
years,
and you're a
having
friend of
campaigned to
immigrant
shut
rights
it.
peers.
No,
That's
it's not
really-
about
that's
that.
really
It's not
encouraging
about
to hear.
that. It's
No,
about
it
the
is. Like, you brought
hypocrisy
it up.
charge.
Wait.
Why were there no protests ever for Saint Barack Obama?
There
And
were
why don't you
anti-war
know
protests,
these
and I
numbers?
was a part of them. I've also been a part of immigrants' rights.
So, Raymond, you're the man behind the baby blimp.
I can't take personal credit. There are lots of very creative people behind the baby
But you're
blimp.
one of the masterminds behind the blimp.
I'm involved with the coalition that's organised.
OK, so last year we had a state visit for Mohammed bin Salman, who's the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. He's a man who's committed war crimes, many people think, in the Yemen. He's a man who recently executed dozens of people in Saudi Arabia, rounded up people he didn't agree with and kept them kidnapped in a hotel and so on. Where was the blimp for him when he had his state visit?
Well, actually, we were involved in protests against...
No, but where was the blimp?
Well,
Where was the blimp mocking the leader of Saudi Arabia? Why did you not have one for him? And yet somehow it appears...
I don't think the criteria of any protest is there a blimp? There's lots of protests.
Actually,
they use lots of different tactics.
But with respect, you've made it a criteria because you've only done it with Trump. And my question to you is, why is Trump so much more morally reprehensible than the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, who executes journalists,
I think it might be
commits
more of
war
a comment.
crimes in Yemen
I think
and so
it's
on?
more of a comment of Donald Trump that he's egotistical and has got a very thin skin, and that's why that kind of protest works with him.
But you didn't mock the Crown Prince of Saudi in the same way.
Actually, we did. We protested very vehemently, and it's interesting because, of course, one of Donald Trump's best pals is Prince Salman of Saudi Arabia, the very country he's just vetoed a law to prevent arms sales that are used against for humanitarian...
But you get my point. My wider point really is that we in the week of... My issue with this is this. People are free to protest, right? It's the whole point of freedom and democracy is that people can take the streets. I've got no problem with protests. My issue my issue with the baby blimp is this. In the week, particularly this week, when the President of the United States is coming specifically to honour the 75th anniversary of D-Day, where American servicemen and women joined forces with the British to repel the Nazis, right? One of the most important moments of modern times.
You should be absolutely passionate, and I know that you wanted...
I'm passionate about fairness.
Well, no,
and I'm passionate
we know
about
that you wanted to be his chief of staff.
No, I don't want to be Donald Trump's chief of staff.
Well,
but unlike most people in the world,
right?
I like to be fair-minded about it.
Let's be fair-minded. Let's be as upset the fact that 6 young children have died in custody in the United States as a result of his policies to divide parents.
How many died in the Obama years?
Not 6, and nobody's died under ICE.
How many illegal immigrants did Barack Obama deport in 8 years? Do you know?
I don't know the exact
number. You don't know? Do you know?
Do you know the exact
Can you have a
number?
guess? I know the exact number. Can you have a guess?
I don't know the exact number.
Have a guess.
I've told you I don't know.
You're very worried about Trump's immigration policy. How many illegal immigrants in 8 years did Barack Obama, his predecessor, a liberal, deport?
Pierce.
Give me a number. Guess.
I don't know. I've just said to you.
Guess.
I don't guess. I've just.
You have no idea.
You tell me. You want to tell me.
The man who was so morally outraged by Donald Trump literally has no. You have no idea how many. When you abuse Trump over immigration policy, you don't know. And here's the reality of that. No. Let me answer you. Because you don't know.
No, Piers.
It was how many, Piers? How many
Barack Obama deported over 3 million illegal immigrants in 8 years. He was known as a deporter-in-chief by people in Mexico. He broke all presidential records for deportation.
Did he put children in cages?
You are outraged by... He actually did separate families.
No, did he put children in cages?
There are pictures of the Obama years where children are being kept in effective cages, yes. So actually, there's a rank hypocrisy about this. Look, I don't defend all things that Trump does, but what I don't like
like is the fact there's a double standard about the way you treat Mohammed bin Salman with the baby blimps. There's a double standard about
Why
the history
can't protesters
of Obama.
tailor their
Rights movements both in Europe and in the UK, regardless of who's
You haven't got a Scooby about Obama. You don't know any of the numbers.